his little video on the park bench got 500,000 views? Was it because there's a tension around the matter at the moment?
Karl only owns 45% of the podcast. There's something else to this that doesn't quite gel up.
I think Karl Sandilands will be 10 times the size. Karl Sandilands is going to have a legitimate breakout.
Talking about cancellation, really, do you think Karl Stefanovic's cancellation is a big psyop, or do you think he actually got cancelled? Do you think it's a publicity stunt?
Yeah, I think there's a bit more publicity involved in it, really, because look, his little video on the park bench got 500,000 views. And why? Is it because they just wanted to hear what Karl had to say any other day of the week, or is it because there's a tension around the matter at the moment, and it wouldn't matter where he sat, he was going to get the views? And I mean, just the subtleties, you know, even like the mention of we're looking for sponsors in it, the blasé approach to it all. To me, I just looked and I was like, just felt a bit, didn't feel as candid, you know, as we were led to believe. No. It felt a bit like this is like clockwork. The Piers Morgan thing, that interview on the time it literally just got sacked, and I don't know.
It is interesting because, and I'm not like making moral judgment here. Tommy Robinson, Karl, now Drew, all these guys, they're all linked in one way or the other. And I have no moral judgment over that, by the way. I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing, but it's clear that there is a coordinated, or it seems like there's a coordinated effort around these groups of people.
We're not going to get through a whole episode without talking about. Are we? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I did mention it. I was like, can the lads get through it? And
no, we can talk about it, because I'm not making moral judgment here. It's like the World Cup, right? When
Arvy's just trying to join.
Is Arvy joining? Yeah, join in, Arvy. I want to have a chat with you. Maybe you actually respond to me one day. No, it's like the World Cup, right? We watch a team do really well. It's fun talking about the strategies they use. Like it's nice seeing a successful team doing really well. Like if anything, I'm jealous.
Did you guys see Joe Aston's? I don't know if you follow Joe Aston at all. He writes Rampart News. Really good journalist. Did that piece about Ellen Joyce last year. Have you seen Joe Aston's article about Karl this week? He was talking about Karl's business enterprise in podcasting versus where he's come from, at Channel 9. Karl only owns 45% of the podcast, the entity that they've created here. The other 45%, another 45% is owned by this lady Cashni, I think her name is, and then 10% by his manager. So he doesn't. It's not like he's structured this thing as some. I mean, let's say it does become a Joe Rogan level, multi-50, $100 million entity. It gets presence in the US as well as Australia. Hypothetically, let's look forward 4 or 5 years. It's an interesting structure to have set it up that way as a long-term business proposal, which once again gets my conspiracy brain ticking. I can see George is doing backflips around that one as well. There's something else to this that doesn't quite gel up.
Look, day one, the day he announced he did this, I sent him a message and we went back and forth and chatted about it. And I after that conversation, like I keep asking him, and that's kind of what I want him to go on Brody's show. And I asked him to come on my show. I said, I'm not going to come on your show. And I think that's one of the great and like I've already told Sam and Choco this. I said to them, going on that show was the greatest mistake. You guys never go on their show and always let them come to you. At the end of the day, Choco and Sam, they hold the power, not Karl. I think in that moment of time, it would have been nice for Karl to come to them, And I think for you, Scott, and for you, Brody, I would say the same advice to you publicly. And that's one thing that Joe Rogan does so well. Joe Rogan doesn't go on anyone else's shows. But you go on Joe Rogan's show. You know what I mean?
He does occasionally, George. He does occasionally.
But that's with close friends. That's with close friends.
People he's trying to support.
People who's been around for 15 to 20 years as comedians, right? But not just
but he's also a known quantity, right? Like, I mean, he's been around that long now that he doesn't actually have to go on anyone's show and answer any questions at this point. Karl's still a big fucking enigma, and he's chosen not to go on anyone's shows, and you're right. I don't disagree there. He's maintained. There's this enigma factor that's still hanging over him, which is helping sell the aura, right?
I don't know. It looks to anyone. I think honestly, if you have half a brain of capable of critical thought, when you look at the whole Karl Stefanovic situation, it smells so strange. It just smells all so strange to me. And I'm not afraid to say that publicly. I'm sorry. It feels to me, it just screams industry plant. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'll just say that.
You've got a lot of people who would agree with you, George. A lot.
Like
a lot.
And I'm not having a go. By the way, I'm not saying it's a bad or good thing. Like, good on him. But like, it's just hard to not see it. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It does.
What do you
Why do we
reckon,
have
Brody?
5
Giant
million
soy up, mate.
We have like 5 million screens here. We got Avi there. We got Rukshan. We got Netanyahu down there. Who's that on the left?
Poor Edward. I mean, he's the sharpest one out of all of us. He's probably going to go the furthest, and he can't get in. He cannot get into the studio, the young bloke. That's okay. He'll get here eventually. What do I think? Yeah, I share the sentiment of both of you. I think there's a massive unknown, Scott. My initial thing is that I think when you've spent so long doing what he's doing, right? I mean, that's 20 years. All right, let's go a bit deeper. Would you agree that your environment shapes you?
Yeah, of course.
No matter where you are, your environment shapes you, right? And so it's very rare that someone comes out. This is the monoculture argument. This is your ideologies, your faith, your upbringing. Your environment shapes you. So Karl has been, whether you call it blessed or lucky or whatever it is, he has been in an environment where he's been mainstream media. He's had the 20 years of getting paid, I think the highest paid in that position in Australia for quite a long time, around the Murdochs, around the certain people at the certain parties, at the certain things, pulling the company line. When things come up and they've got to spread it, they say it, the COVID debacle, all that stuff. I don't think you just come out of that and instantly change. I think if you did come out of it and instantly change, it would just look different to what it is now. I think there'd be a different, there'd just be a bit more of a ruthlessness about it, and it wouldn't feel so strategic. And so I think there's a reason when there's smoke, there's generally fire. There's a reason a lot of people are asking questions. Like George said, doesn't necessarily mean it's good or bad. He might just be a mainstream guy who now has gone independent. So he's still that guy. Like Gavin Newsom has a podcast. He's still Gavin Newsom. He's just got a podcast. It'll be interesting to see who his sponsors are and all that. But like we said, the invitation's open. I'll make this call though. I bet you $100. He does not come on one of our shows first. The first show he will go on will be a massive platform because there will be strategy behind it. He might come talk to us in a year's time when he's already had the big moment on someone else's show and they get the views thing. I get all that, but he's not going to come to us. He just did Piers Morgan
today. So,
Piers Morgan's, yeah.
But my point is, like, this is a throwback to our podcast, our first ever meeting we did, Brody, right? When I talked about centralization of power, right?
Yeah.
So what we're seeing, what we're seeing unraveling to the world is the expression of the universe in regards to people like us communicating independently through social media, making it very clear on how we feel about things and speaking truth to the world. And we believe it to be moral truths to the world. And then the elite who sit there realizing that this is happening, having to then create a system that they can then centralize around it. And what they do is they create copies of what we are, but that they have under their influence and control. So I'm not saying that's necessarily Karl, but I'm saying whenever there's a power loss somewhere, if you can imagine like this is all of power in the world, and then there's a hole in this bowl that I'm holding that's power and it's leaking out, the first thing the elites will try and do is contain that leak and create another version of that for themselves. So, and that is a constant cycle that repeats and repeats. That's exactly what Christianity was. When it first came about, the empire, the Roman Empire, had to centralize around it. Otherwise, they would lose control. So it's interesting.
George, you put it down to nefarious intent. Could we also speculate then that it's a natural balancing that's kind of unfolding again as well here as well? I mean, you can't have good without evil, right? And I mean, it's taken a long time in Australia for the right wing of whatever we are in the right side of politics anymore for whatever we are, to try and learn how to fight on this narrative battlefield, these social media platforms. And you got someone like Karl, who's a big fish, who just swoops in there, and maybe his producer is astute enough to go, hey, there's a huge opportunity here for someone like your voice, Karl. Could have been Dave Hughes, could have been Karl Sandilands, could have been a dozen people really at this point, right, who could have filled that vacuum. So,
here's what I'll say, Scotty, on the back of that. Karl Sandilands, you just reminded me of what I was thinking earlier. I think Karl Sandilands will be 10 times the size. And that's not a knock at Karl. I think Karl Sandilands is going to have a legitimate breakout. That's just my discernment, my gut feeling. I think Karl, while I think the way it's all gone down with Jackie and all that is probably all staged, I think his actual breakout is going to be completely different to Karl's, and I think his will be huge.
Nature abhors a vacuum. You know? And there is a vacuum in this space, and it's going to be filled. And there's a bunch of us. Look at all of us here doing what we do. Shit, a year ago I wasn't doing this. And we're all being sucked into the vortex here. This vacuum sucking us in. These big names are looking at it going, you know what? This might be a rich field to plough right now.
What do you think, George, about Sandilands? Do you have any thoughts on Karl?
Yeah, look, I think he has great potential. And just to answer Scotty's thing, I don't think this is nefarious. I'm in complete agreement with you. I do think it's a natural equilibrium effect, as in the centralization. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is that there is definitely a hierarchy in humanity. You definitely have different levels of humanity, there's people who are just not as good as the top, right? And it's the same with any animal kingdom. And it's just the way it is. But it is interesting to see it. Look, Karl will be good. I would like to see I don't know, honestly, this is going to sound really strange and it's kind of outrageous to say it, but I wish Steve Irwin was still here because I think Steve Irwin would have been so fantastic to have around at this time in Australian history. He would have been
he would have been a raving boomer lefty. You know that, right?
You reckon? Nah.
100. Nah. Dude, 100%. I was watching some old Karl, Steve Irwin the other day. He was talking about the birth of his daughter and how, something as dumb as him could create something so beautiful. Those of us that have had children have felt that before. And I was looking at him thinking, I reckon you would have been one of those pain in the ass lefties as you got older, mate.
Blasphemy.
I don't know. I think I disagree. I reckon that Stingray was a
bite your tongue, Scotty Challenge.
I reckon that Stingray was a I'm sorry,
George. I'm just trying to get the show on YouTube.
I'm joking.
I'm just trying to get it on YouTube. If you're wondering why it muted there for a second in the edit, you have to go to Patreon to see the unedited version.
So, by the way, guys, I make a lot of jokes.
Slow motion footage of every death in the world that's ever happened, right? Like every famous person. We've never seen the Steve Irwin death video, mate. It's never ever made it to the internet, to the dark web, or anywhere. Not that I want to see it, I might add, but the point is that video has never ever emerged. Does anyone think that's kind of unusual?
He was wearing a microphone apparently while he was swimming.
He was being filmed.
He was filmed.
There's a theory that the microphone exploded.
Right.
No. Look, I was just guys. I like to make some. I like to make some dark.
Right. Okay.
It's a dark joke, but no, I'm serious. I think I don't know. I have a feeling because, to be honest, I've had interactions with the Irwin family, and they've always been so nice to me. So that's kind of where I'm getting this assumption from, because I believe in destiny. I believe he would have been on the right side of history, to be honest. And I believe the same thing about Shane Warne. I think Kobe Bryant. I think all these figures would have been – these are all strong men, I think, who have conviction. So I don't know. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, the question is, though, would Steve Irwin have taken the vaccine?
No.
Ask that question.
Would he have been travelling?
Do it for Australia, mate. Do it for Australia.
Did Roberts – I don't think Irwin's promoted the vaccine, did they? I didn't see them do that.
I don't believe so.
I don't know. That's actually we should probably check that, but
someone should build a Claude thread that's like, what would Steve Irwin do? Backlog all of Steve's known content in there and get this thing thinking like, what would Steve Irwin do? That'd be a really interesting project to create. Someone out there put that thing together, send it to me. I'd love to run it.
Honestly, I honestly believe if Steve Owen didn't die, he would be Australia's biggest. Like, he would be the man, like the man of the hour. You know,
That's why he had to die, mate.
Maybe, but it's sad because he was very special, and look, I'm sure there's a little bit of lefty in him, but there's a little bit lefty in all of us, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, I can't even define what Australian is.
Yeah,
there is a
you
little
don't
bit
even
of
know
lefty
what
in all of us.
Australian is. Like, Scotty loves wearing caps. You know, they're all lefty in some way. So
it depends if you're going to wear it backwards or not.
Yeah. Oh no.
What is the trend with that? With older men doing that, I don't get it. What's the trend?
Mark Wahlberg.
I thought there was a psyop going on. I
it's,
saw a few of you do it all at once. What is it?
Leighton Hewitt.
Leighton Hewitt, another legend.
Actually, yeah, Leighton
he's
Hewitt.
alive.
He's alive, isn't he? Yeah. He's just,
Yeah, I didn't say he's dead. I just said he's a legend.
Man, he was fantastic, right? I mean, wasn't he was married to that super hot Neighbours star as well? What was her name? I can't remember.
He lived in Adelaide, Leighton Hewitt. He lived his parents live here, I think, still.
Damn.
Hey George, there's an account, an Instagram account that's popped up, and I believe he's from Adelaide.
What's it called?
And it's called. Let me just poor old Edwards. When Edward comes on, we'll just pray like we're wrapping up. Poor guy's been trying to get in for 20 minutes. I'll tell you what he's called.
He keeps on knocking, but he can't get in.
He's really
For
bad.
those watching, we do have some stories to cover. We just haven't quite got there
He's like
yet.
one of those Seventh-day Adventists that knocks on the door on a Saturday morning, mate, or whatever. You know, like, hey, have you got a minute to talk about Jesus Christ? With you guys? You're like, yeah, I've got an hour.
Oh, you won't believe it. The account is actually got. Look who he's got on it. Okay, the account is called Australia First Network.
Oh yeah, I know who that
The
is.
handle is Australia First. Look what he's got. Look who he's got in the actual.
Let's have a look.
In his profile.
Let me have a look. I haven't looked at it in a way.
No, it's
He's gonna love that you're talking about this. By the way.
Hey, good. He seemed like a nice guy.
Oh, Steve
Let's
Owen.
go, Steve. Let's go. Yeah. So I don't know who this guy is, but if you're watching,
I know.
you will be watching. Go and follow him.
I know who he is.
I think I'm going to take a stab in the dark. I think he's got a really good heart. I had a little chat with him, and I say go follow him. If I'm wrong about it, I apologize later. But
he's a fantastic human being.
From my
I wish him
interaction,
nothing
I'm
but
like-
the best. And all these Edward clones here, I think Ed would be on.
well. I
wanna get into a story.
Just gave him a follow. He calls himself a Zoomer patriot. Is he a Zoomer, George? Can we verify that he's not a Pakistani bot?
No, I know he is, Scott, and he's actually written to you. He's emailed to you as well. So if he did a huge, he's done a huge report for you guys. So if you could, if you get a chance to look at it, take a look at it because apparently
I'm being sincere when he messaged us on the new Chamber Instagram that we created. If you guys aren't following it yet, at the Chamber. On Instagram, he messaged there and just started talking, I kind of talked back with him, and man, I just got the feeling. I was like, I don't know who this is, and he wouldn't tell me.
He could be King Arthur. He could be the future king of Australia.
Oh, let's get him on. He could be the second Edward Square here. We don't know. Hey, if you enjoyed that clip and you want to see the full episode, it's just here. Click here. That'll take you to the full conversation. While you're at it, subscribe so you never miss another episode.